ladies and gentlemen, and we are rolling down the road. Gonna be at the Eldora Speedway around 3:30, 4 o'clock for the possibly biggest sprint car week in sprint car history. Of course, Eldora Million, and then the Kings Royal. Eldora Million, first time ever a sprint car race will be paying over $1 million. And on this drive, my phone just started blowing up like a damn cherry tree, and it has to do with this news, very heavy hammer of a drop news of the 39M of the Macri Motorsports father-son style team there having a situation occur to where, based on their announcement, Anthony Macri has decided to walk away from the 39M car, and Lance Dewease is going to be in the 39M car for the Eldora Million. And of course I wanted to know what was going on, just like everybody else. And I started messaging around, and it seems like it's not necessarily a great grand situation. We can talk about the good out of the situation. The good of the situation is Lance Dewease, who we all got a big news drop hammer last week that he in the 69K wouldn't be coming to the Eldora Million. And a lot of fans were upset about that and sad to hear that. And it was a car owner issue, not a driver issue. Apparently, that's their words. And then we now know he's going to be in the 39M. So that's the good news, that Lance Dewease is going to be at the Eldora Million. I mean, somebody who's one of the most legendary race car drivers out of the Pennsylvania area, and is known, I would say, coast to coast by just about every sprint car fan or industry person there is. Racer teams, crew, fans, everything. Track owners, sponsors, everything. That's the good. And the bad, I would say, is how the Eldora Million lost potentially the best car driver combo of 2023 out of Pennsylvania in this year, at least, because you would say, you know, Brent Marks, obviously at this race, yes, a lot to be said about that for sure. But I mean, Marks and Macri kind of went head to head at PA Speed Weeks, and you know, they split it, so you know, 1A, 1B, they're right there. But regardless, we lost one of the biggest teams, team driver car combo of this year out of the state of Pennsylvania. I think people could put Anthony Macri up there pretty damn high as far as a talent combo, finishing position, hopes, you know, optimism. You know, it's not a crazy, if this whole thing at Eldora was able to be bet on, it wouldn't be a crazy long shot to pick Anthony Macri. I mean, you could say he's in the discussion. He picked up the high limit win at 34 Raceway earlier in the year, you know, outside of PA. So, and he's been traveling, he's been doing a lot of stuff out there on a very high level. So that's the bad, is that we lost one of the strongest car driver combos out of the state of Pennsylvania. Now the ugly, and you know, I'm halfway guilty of this, but I do see it as a little bit ugly, and I'm gonna try to phrase it to where I don't seem like a complete hypocrite. But the ugly is that it does sound like an internal issue, and obviously everybody sees Macri Motorsports and Anthony Macri not racing together. Most people see it as a father-son operation style scenario, and it sounds like there could have been something internally, and most would assume logically that something internally on a family level occurred to get the result that we did get today. Now, I personally went around trying to ask behind the scenes, not for a video purpose, but just to understand what it may have happened, because I was worried, did Anthony possibly get hurt? Obviously, they said walked away, but, you know, I was trying to think anything but that it was an internal issue between family members. And this is why I say it's ugly, because I think most people could know that. I think most people could assume that from the text I'm having. Most people are assuming. Nobody knows. And for nobody to really, truly know, that means there's only one option left. Now, what I don't get is the outpouring of people on social media and across the different platforms wanting to know so that they can have all the details. I saw somebody say they would kill or whatever to know every little detail. And it's like, if there's a dispute between a father-son issue or something along those lines, I don't really care to know the details, you know, because I understand that there was a lot of things happening in this scenario that have to be truly devastating for this to be the result. For Anthony Macri to be out of his own car, and, you know, who knows where he's at emotionally, and for the potential people who ran the situation to agree to get rid of him as well, or for him to walk away and to look elsewhere. I mean, there's got to be a lot of sad, ugly situations happening in this entire ordeal. Sorry about the phone, just keeps on going down. But this is a very sad situation for us to even be here. It's not good. There's a lot of emotions. I'm sure Anthony Macri is devastated. I'm sure that whoever's mad at one another within the internal family over whatever happened is devastated, even not just right now in the short term, but this has long-term implications. You know, this is going to be something that doesn't just end this week. You know, and that's something that they're both going to have to deal with, whatever situation or however it happened. This is something that long-term is going to affect a family. And I personally don't care to know the nitty-gritty details like some of the people I'm seeing, which is kind of sad. And I saw some people saying, well, I guess or they messaged me back asking about the Macri deal. Well, I guess when you get there, you can find out all the little nitty-gritty details for some content. And it's like, no, I don't care a damn bit to know some nitty-gritty, he said, she said, this guy, that guy details about a situation that most people should be having some empathy for, feeling bad about, and potentially, I would say, maybe praying for whatever is going on in this Macri ordeal family situation, to pray for them, to mend their issues or figure out something, because there are some things in this world that are more important than cars going around in circles. And when you got a situation like this, there is more than that on the line. And we see a lot of families with sons that are racing and stuff like that, and there always seems to be this undertone drama and somewhat of forgetfulness on how important that relationship is between family members, more so than the car and the driver. So, obviously, it's pretty blatant that the Macri Motorsports car and Anthony Macri splitting sounds like an internal issue between some kind of family situation. And I think that it is pretty much nobody's right to know what exactly happened past that. Words, whatever, what was said, how it was done. It's a bad, sad, ugly situation that everybody should be hoping that they can fix whatever's wrong, can get back to where it was, because when this announcement was made, unfortunately for them, it just let the world know that there's something wrong. You know, and sometimes the family unit and a bunch of people, I think, work really hard on having their issues off camera, behind the scenes, not for everyone to know. And that's a really big thing, I think, not just with family, but relationships, all that stuff, kind of just keeping it between those that matter and those that it involve. When you get into these race teams and situations like that, it's hard to balance sometimes. And this is a situation that has definitely went off balance, kind of like this camera right now. It won't stay balanced for me. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I gotta say. It sounds like a sad situation. I'm more empathetic to it with the Macri, with his dad, or whatever, the whole family, some kind of splitting. It's a Macri Motorsports car and the Macri driver walking away. That relationship there, I think, is a little bit more important in respecting whatever actually happened behind the scenes, the nitty-gritty details. I personally do not care to know. So anybody out there who's messaged me back should make good content this week. I don't care at all, period. Whatever the content is that you are hoping for, me going up and, well, what did he say? Who did she say? What happened there? If I find that out, I'm not gonna let you know, because I don't feel good about this. I don't think that it's good. I'm looking at it from the human element, more so than the little racy cars and the Jerry Springer element. I don't care about that crap. 2-3 years ago, Chaz might have cared about that crap. Today's Chaz is a little bit more mature, and I think maybe the audience can grow with me. Stuff like this is not something you want to know all the details about and get into the harshness and the emotions, because there's a lot of feelings being affected right now in this entire situation. I would guesstimate. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. We're probably going to be doing some lives at the Eldora Million this week, hopefully avoiding this topic in particular. We have a bunch of stuff coming, and a bunch of partners actually jumping on. Buckeye Bitcoin has jumped on to be a supporter of the Chaz this week. Bitcoin, fuck the banks, BuckeyeBitcoin.com. And then obviously we need some internet out there. We got this badass home internet tower to use, which it's a home internet tower that you plug up, but wink wink, DoneRightTV.com can get it for you for your home. But when you go camping, you can kind of take it with you, or you could put it in your race hauler. Wink wink, not everyone can do that. Most people do it wrong, but done right gets it done right, if you know what I'm saying. So we're gonna see how good this thing works at Eldora. I'm really optimistic about it, to maybe do some lives and things at the track, and get content out to the fans out there. We're gonna be very busy this week at Eldora, and hopefully this whole Macri thing, whatever is wrong, gets fixed behind the scenes. It is not gonna be on the forefront or on the stage of the Chaz and my content. This is all I have to say about it. Obviously, anybody has to say something, and this is what I have to say. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, like the video, share the video, comment below with what you think, and as always, be sure to subscribe. Catch you next time, ladies and gentlemen.